How much Premiere Pro or After Effects should you know before joining an agency? How do you avoid burnout? What's your morning routine? And what was my lowest and my highest income in freelancing? All those questions and many more coming up on the 7th Q&A Sunday. So what's going down, guys? My name is Jack. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to be doing another Q&A. This is a big one. We got about 25 questions. We're going to rip through them. If you're a freelance video editor on the come up, this is going to have immense value for you. If you're also just a creative of any description or degree, this will also have value inside for you. Also, we're sponsored by Video Production Plus, the single greatest private members community in existence for video creators on the come up, especially my freelancers. You've probably seen content on the channel already about VP Plus. I won't shill it too hard until the middle of the video. I'm going to shill it to you hard in the middle of the video. Without further ado, let's get cracking with the 7th Q&A Sunday. So how much Premiere Pro or After Effects should you know before joining an agency? Now, ideally, enough that makes you proficient to be attractive to the agency. Agencies want to work with talent that is premium talent. An agency is only as good as the talent that they hire, because if they're outsourcing work to someone who's unreliable, who isn't skilled, who isn't talented, who's missing deadlines, that's going to look bad on the agency. So regardless of Premiere Pro and After Effects, yes, you should be a good editor to be attractive to the agency, but other skills you should be thinking about that are as important, if not more important in some cases, is general professionalism, being someone who's actually easy to work with and someone who makes the agency's life easier. If you're that person and that also knows Premiere Pro and After Effects and is a proficient editor, you will have a very fun time in an agency and you'll likely have a lot of work into the future. How do you avoid burnout? Loving the program, by the way. Shout out to Ethan. Ethan is a VP Plus soldier. He's inside the community. Now, Ethan, how do you avoid burnout? Burnout is something that happens when you are not passionate anymore, when you don't have a vision for the future. So when I was hustling every single day, Monday to Sunday, in my office, I rented a little $190, $220 a month office back in the day. What kept me coming in there 7 days a week, it was a point of pride to come in on my birthday. I would even get myself booked in a nightclub on New Year's Eve just so I could be working on New Year's Eve. My passion and my vision for where I was going was extremely strong. The vision was very vivid. I could see where I was going. It made sense. There was a why behind the hustle. Now, if you don't have a strong vision, if you don't have a strong why, if you don't have a strong idea where you're going, a direction, it's very easy to get burnt out. It's very easy to get frustrated with the day-to-day activities of running a business. It is very easy to hustle for extensive multi-year periods of time if your why is strongly positioned. What's your morning routine? Everyone has a different ritual to start the day. My morning ritual has evolved over the years. I used to wake up and hammer about 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee before the clock had even struck 7 a.m. I used to wake up at 6, 5 a.m., hammer a bunch of coffee. Now I have more of a adjusted casual day. It is a lot less caffeine. I'm down to 1 coffee a day now. I'm limiting myself. And I try to wake up and have more of an easy introduction to the day. I used to wake up with a lot of anxiety. Let's go, let's hustle. I actually now wake up and try and take more of a calm approach for the first hour. I don't touch the phone. I read at least 20 pages every morning and I have a coffee. That's it. That's my morning routine. Nice and simple, gets me in the zone. I'm usually reading a business book or something that's self-help, something that will actually give me some more ideas for the businesses I'm building or the vision that I have. And my morning routine is much more chilled. What was your biggest struggle while editing, and what was the lowest income and the highest income from editing? A double question from Amrix. Great. I'm going to give you my biggest struggle right now. My biggest struggle was when I worked with a Vietnamese cryptocurrency company who were building an app to trade cryptocurrency. Now, it was Vietnamese, and the entire video, I had to write all the text in Vietnamese. This project should have only taken a week. It was for a company called IDCM. Who knows if they're even in business anymore? You could maybe look them up for a joke. And I was building a promo video for them, basically. It was very loosely put together through templates off Envato Elements. It was an animated promo video, but we kept getting things lost in translation. They'd say, make the quality better, and I'd be like, it's already 1080p. Like, if we make it 4K, we're gonna have the oversized stuff. They were like, no, not the quality. We mean the text size. My lowest income is the early days when I was hustling. One great story pops into mind when I was trying to build my live event videography career. And I got me and my 2 friends, Noah and Ben, a gig filming Mambo's, a front for a drug dealer, but it was actually a nightclub. It was actually a front for a drug dealer. It was technically a nightclub. And we got paid 30 GBP, 30 pounds to come and film a nightclub video. We split that £10 each. We all took a tenner home and we went and made that video. Now, that was in the early days where we were really just trying to take any cash possible. I think I was 18 at this time. Those videos might not have been anything special, but they were a major stepping stone that enabled us to have a sample, a proof of concept, which we could show to other clients and actually sell for a higher price in the future. I think the next one we shot was for £100, so we actually had a 300% gain on our take home, right? And real quickly, my highest paid editing was a very boring job. It was a corporate course that I was putting together. It was a lot of chops and cuts. It was basically piecing together a content creator and making a course for them. That was, I think, 3 G's for that right there. And that was about 2 weeks of work, back and forth, lots of chops and cuts, and just boring corporate work. Before we continue with the video, guys, I want to make sure you're aware that we just dropped our biggest update yet for Video Production Plus. The VP Plus Wiki has officially been rolled out. Content has been organized like never before. Finally, we take you directly to the assets that are going to provide the most value to you, whether it be landing more clients and income, improving your editing skills, networking and becoming part of a team, or even build a team of editors and scale your video production business into an agency. We've got you covered. Massive case studies are being built out here for the success stories that we're seeing inside VP Plus. Take what's working for them. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. We've also got all of our video editing assets and courses organized here perfectly. We've got our Start Freelancing Masterclass, which is 2 hours long, our full-time freelancers, an hour and a half, our Outreach Masterclass, 4.5 hours of pure value, 1,000+ digital assets, all of the other benefits that come with Video Production Plus, and most importantly, a 350+ member community to help you out, give you feedback, and essentially encourage you on this fantastic journey. Link down below, or go to videoproduction.plus, and I'll see you there. Can you make an advanced video editing course in the future? Thanks for everything. 100%. I've got a couple ideas for this. VP Plus is going to be expanding at a rapid rate. We're currently the #1 place in town for freelance video editors. You can come and you can scale a video editing career. You can turn your passion into profit. There's nowhere else on the internet that's teaching the things that we're teaching. And listen, I don't even have to show it to you. You've seen the client results. You've seen the student results. And advanced video editing courses are coming to VP Plus sooner than you know. We have the Premiere Pro Masterclass 9 hours. We have the After Effects Masterclass 11 hours. So you can learn the basics, but join us in VP Plus, and the advanced stuff is on its way. How to upgrade my video editing skills. The boring, mundane way to upgrade your video editing skills is trial and error, actually just the iteration cycle of making content. The first video is okay, the second video is a bit better, the 43rd video is pretty damn good now. The easier answer of how to upgrade your video editing skills is get a premium asset subscription. I'm talking Envato Elements. In VP Plus, we have the single biggest 1-month discount for Envato Elements. You can get it for 30% of the price. You can get it for like $9 a month, right? Instead of 40 or 50 or whatever. You can join VP Plus and get Envato Elements for the same price you used to just be able to get Envato Elements for. So I'd say if you want to improve your editing skills without going through the iteration cycle, get a premium level subscription like Envato Elements. You can get a bunch of pre-made stuff there that's going to massively improve your edits, and you won't even have to put that much time into it, but it'll have a big impact. How can I scale my graphic design career from Africa? The answer I'm going to give to you to scale your graphic design career in Africa is the same exact advice I would give anybody to scale any design career or any creative endeavor they're trying to do. It would be the internet. If you're trying to tap into localized opportunities, you are absolutely operating in a subpar market. It can never really get bigger than the town you're in, the country you're in, etc. Now, take that on the opposite side and say you're tapping into the freelancer marketplace on the internet. The internet is a global marketplace, the biggest marketplace that exists on planet Earth. Even if you can get 1, 2, 3 graphic design gigs in Africa, you best believe you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 on the internet, simply because it's a bigger market of people. There's a bigger pool to market to. There's a bigger pool of potential work to extract some value from. Why is your premium subscription so expensive? Abdel Malek. It's actually not. It's pretty cheap, to be honest with you. It's $24.99 a month. I'm actually going to go ahead and say this right now. We have 420 members. I know, funny weed number. We have 420 members. At 500 members, not only am I putting up the price, but I'm also stopping free calls. Until this point, I've been doing free one-on-one calls with members in my community. You can join VP Plus, and for no additional cost than the membership itself, you can also book a one-on-one call with me. We can put together a plan for you that's tailor-fitted for your situation. Students are having massive success based off of these one-on-one plans we're putting together. 500 people having access to my schedule and being able to book me whenever is just not feasible, right? I'm sorry. I've done it for free as long as I could. So at 500 members, not only are we putting up the price, but I'm also stopping the free one-on-one calls. Anyone who joins between now and 500, I will honor a free one-on-one call, and you will lock in the current price, $24.99 for life. It ain't expensive. It's actually about to go up. As a short form video editor, I have the editing skills, but I run out of ideas and I don't know what to add to the video. What do you suggest to not run out of ideas? It sounds like you simply have an inspiration problem. That simply means you need to expand your inspiration. You need to be following more accounts who you think are impressive. You need to be paying attention to industry leaders. You need to be paying attention to trends in the editing game. It's as simple as following more accounts who you think are creating cool content, and both consciously and subconsciously taking some of those effects, taking some of that style, stealing some of that secret sauce, and applying it to your own work. How how do you start out? What does one need to learn to land his/her/their first client? I love the pronouns, his/her/their. First, you need some juice to bite into. You need some meat to bite into. Now, if I come to someone and I have absolutely no track record and I say, hey, pay me a large sum of money to render this service, they essentially have no juice to bite into, no meat to bite into. There's no track record to believe that I'm capable of rendering these services. So you need to manufacture that. What that looks like is either doing free or discounted work, or joining VP Plus and taking some of our practice projects, or taking content off the internet and simply re-editing it, making it your own. You need a proof of concept. You need something to showcase your skills. You also need a basic landing page to present that. A one-page sales page with card, for example, CARRD. Amazing free landing page creator. The number one thing you need to push you forward to getting your first client is a public presentation of your work and a showcase of the track record and the skills that you're going to be selling to that individual. What advice would you have for starting videography in London, and how do you get clients in the early days? Do you have any tips for creating banging videos? Liam, 100%. The factors that played the biggest role in my success in the London videography scene when I moved to London, and essentially I was a small fish in a very big pond, was the network that I had. I had a couple loose connections when I moved to London. I had a graphic designer friend who we filmed a club for that we made a connection with that now worked at some big luxury nightclub. He could feed me some opportunities. He got me some high-profile gigs filming nightclubs, filming A$AP Ferg, Nelly, Tyga, Fat Joe, some of these bigger names. That was all achieved through a network. Now, take it to my reputation from the countryside before I moved to London. I'd built up a reputation as a video creator, as a videographer, as the video guy in my hometown. A lot of those people had gravitated to London. Those people that knew me were also a huge source of work for me. One of them worked at a big studio, the Blue Studios. They knew I was the video guy. They wanted to bring a videographer in to film a game show, a music game show. I was obviously the guy they thought of. We had rappers who were in London who wanted to film a music video. So my advice for starting videography in London is the network effect, my friend. You want to build a network as fast as you can. That could incorporate going to network events, hitting people up through social media. I made so many connections through social media. Networking is a huge factor for success in any industry, but especially a client service business where you are in need of providing services to another client, and ideally, you need a network to refer you to them. What's my best tip on how much you should charge clients? So you should look at charging and pricing as a elastic, dynamic thing. It's going to evolve over time. You're not going to have a set price that just kind of stays the same, and usually demand increases are the best way to increase your prices. So for example, what did that look like for me? Well, I would offer prices at a certain rate. I think I was usually charging around £25 an hour. I think I got to about $4,000 or $5,000 a month sticking to my rates. At a certain point, we wanted to actually increase those rates, but we were in demand. What that meant was we would be able to charge a higher rate to new work that was coming in. Now, if that new work couldn't afford to pay our higher rate, it was okay, because my bills were paid off the current people who were paying the current rates. A huge predicator of early stage freelancers giving up money and taking low price jobs is because they need the work. They're not in demand. As soon as you have demand and you actually have work, you don't need the money, you can begin to increase your prices, get yourself in demand for the current rates, slowly, gradually increase your prices as more demand comes through the door as the business matures. The price of your video editing services depend on who you sell it to. How much do you agree with the statement in the world of freelance video editing? I agree 100%. There's a certain type of client which literally couldn't afford you even if they wanted to. Maybe they're in the gaming niche, for example, just to paint the picture. They're maybe living at home with their mom, or they have roommates. They don't have loads of expendable money. So there's literally an upper ceiling, an upper threshold for how much they can even pay you. Flip the script. Let's go ahead and talk about a real estate client that I closed. We closed a real estate client for a $5,000 retainer. It was one of the easier sales that I've ever made. The call was very easy. We closed them very quick. Now, the reason they were so easy to hand over a $5,000 retainer that they still pay me every single month, because they're selling a high ticket offer themselves. They're selling a $5,000 a year mastermind where they bring real estate agents through the door and they teach them how to sell more homes and attract more leads. They're closing, before we even came on board, between 5 to 10, upwards of even 15 clients a month, which means they're almost making $100,000 a month. They got a 6-figure a month business. So when they get in front of me, who has loads of social proof in terms of driving results for other clients, it's pretty easy to take a 5K retainer and hand it to me because they have an excess of cash that they're making every month. How to prepare the best onboarding system for clients. Sayuja, that was an amazing question. I'm actually going to do something which is a first on this channel. I'm going to leak my client onboarding for my agency, and I'm going to walk you through how we do it step by step. On the screen right now, you see milestone number 1 is go on a call with a client, understand their needs, and have a strategic session. And you see it has a tick next to it. So we'll actually screen share and show the client, listen, this is where we are right now. This is milestone number 2, the second call, which is we present the personal branding questionnaire and discuss the offer and receive one raw video from the client. We then prepare that piece of content to give an example of the quality, and you'll see the next milestone is after receiving receiving payment, optimized profiles, script videos, script posts, studio setup call with client, and script confirmation. We say that's a 15-day setup, right? We usually have about a 1-month onboarding, which means they pay us, and the first month of production is actually preparing the content for month number 2. We've received the payment at this point. Again, we're walking them through this so they can see there's a real rhyme and reason to this. The filming phase is a 10-day phase after the planning phase, which is milestone number 4. This is down to them. They go film the content we prepared now. My agency finds the winning topics. We script the content. We have the editors. We have the VAs posting. We're personal brand outsourced. That's the offer. And then it essentially flips and we come back to the start. Now, being able to actually screen share and show a meticulous breakdown of exactly step-by-step what the onboarding looks like is a major selling point for us, and it makes the client feel much more comfortable that they've landed with the right agency to service them, who, again, have done this 100 times before. This isn't the first time they're doing it. They're not taking a chance on you. You are conveying professionalism and a rhyme and a reason to the strategies you'll be implementing for them. Is it a good idea to use paid ads to promote your before and after videos to get more inbound leads? I personally haven't tried it. I would actually incorporate a strategy a little bit different. It's still based around reach. So paid ads is something to do if you don't have a community of people to engage with your content, which boosts the reach of it, which shows to the algorithm it's a good piece of content, which means the algorithm gets weaponized to then push it even further. If you don't have that on your side, which is what the students in VP Plus benefit from, because VP Plus is essentially a glorified engagement group. You can make a Twitter account, gain 30, 40, 50 followers off the back of the community right away. They're then your initial people liking and commenting. Your content then spreads further because the algorithm sees it's useful. I'm sure you're understanding, right? So if you're not in a community like that, then paid ads could be something worthwhile because it's basically subsidizing those people to boost the reach of it. Regardless, both strategies are in theory sound. One of them I haven't tested and I have no clue. That's the paid ads. The other one I know for a goddamn fact it converts and is converting on a weekly basis for the students in VP Plus. How and where do I start learning to be a better content creator? My friend, that's very simple. You start by picking up the camera or loading up the timeline. You begin, you suck, you turn up the next day, you suck a little bit less, you turn up the next day. All of a sudden, 74 days have passed and you ain't that bad. Cut Corner says, what is your tip for approaching clients? My biggest tip for approaching clients is personalizing the outreach as much as you can. Now, there's obviously too far. If you go into their personal Facebook and find out their aunt just passed away and you're, mentioning that in an email, that's probably prying a little bit too much. But let's have a look at what good personalized outreach is. Actually identifying specific value you can provide to them and specific pain points you can poke them on. A generalized outreach of just a basic message. Hi, sir, I can provide high quality video editing services. Just think about how many outreaches you have to send to even convert one client because it's not personalized. There's no emotional factor behind it. Then flip it. Say you attached a Loom video breaking down a screen share of their YouTube channel or their business page and poking them on key pain points that you can improve. Hey, I see you're doing long form content. Why aren't you doing short form content? My client over here, we're doing short form content for this is what it looks like. An actual presentation that could only last 45 seconds to 1 minute via a little screen share Loom video that you attach to your outreach will go a very long way in converting that client because it's personalized. You've actually put some thought and attention into them rather than just spamming off 100 messages. I've got my first music video shoot coming up. Any tips? My biggest tips to you would be pre-production and planning. If you turn up and just start running gunning, you're going to have definitely secondhand footage and it's just going to be a bit more bootleg. Planning will give you an idea of what to do, what scenes to get next, and ultimately will give you more of a rhyme and reason and more of a structure for what you're doing. It will definitely produce a better result. And look for some cool things you can do to spice up the environment. I was never a big budget music video guy. I was never shooting some Pop Smoke video or some AJ Tracy thing. It was always low budget, one-on-one music videos. Me and the rapper, usually just us, maybe a couple friends. The music is the core thing, but you're looking for a fun, entertaining visual to correspond to the music video. For the lower budget stuff, LEDs, a cool backdrop in terms of scenery or architecture, or some fun stuff like some smoke grenades and some other things like that could go a long way to make a basic scene a little bit nicer. Is it better to send a cold DM on social media or a cold email or both? KD, that's a very good question. I'm going to revolve it back around my personalized outreach. Both are effective. In fact, if it's a heavy hitter, I would potentially advise hitting them on both. Usually not the same day so it looks spammy, but if you hit them on email one day and you follow up over Twitter or social media or Instagram, whatever, a couple days later, if they haven't hit you back, that can usually be a cool way to follow up. But I will say the success you have with cold outreach is completely predicated on how much effort you put into the cold outreach. You want to take your cold email and make it as warm as possible, which is far easier said than done, but tried and true principles revolve around personalization. The more substance you actually approach them with, the higher your conversion rates will be. How much you earn by editing? The number to tally up is too vague, but I'll talk about a month-on-month statistic. As an individual editor myself, I never made it past 5K a month. That was like pretty much my pinnacle, pretty much my point. And in VP Plus, my private membership, members community, I'm seeing that as a checkpoint. A lot of individuals can get to the 4 or 5K price point by themselves. Now, when I wanted to increase my income, and I now earn a 6-figure income, which is obviously more than 5Gs a month, 4Gs a month, the way we're able to do that was an agency model. Essentially, there's only a limit on the time that I can put into content, and also kind of burn out after a while if you're doing everything. A tried and true principle for scaling is to build an agency model. An agency model seems like a crazy word, but really what an agency is a relationship with 1 or 2 other freelancers who you bring work in through your personal brand, through your track record, through the demand you've generated for yourself, and you simply outsource that to someone else, you take a cut, and now you have an agency model. Is there a chance for freelance video editors to land into Hollywood, and how so? So I'm gonna go ahead and use a quote from someone in video production plus my private members community. We're hosting big community live sessions where everyone gets involved, they're asking questions. It's an amazing event for everybody in the community. Now, I noticed Randy wasn't turning up to our events for a few weeks in a row. Now, he used to be a bit of a regular. He was there all the time. I checked my inbox, and he had this to say. Sorry I'm not around for the lives. I'm at Paramount Studios for a 6-month gig. That right there's a proof of concept. If you're a freelance video editor, you can get work in Hollywood. You could get work in theory wherever you set your sights on and work towards, just like essentially any career path. If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way, you'll network with the right people, and I'm sure you can get yourself into the industry.